But when you hear about a cultural festival that is coming up like that, people will want to come to be part of it and meet old friends again.
That's very fine. What is the name of this cultural festival? What is it called?
We call it Ilaje Heritage Cultural Festival, and that is the maiden edition. Is what you've just that it is what is going on right now, and it's going to be an ongoing event on a yearly basis, and that's where it's going to go.
Yeah, how long does this celebration last?
It's a program that is for a whole week. It's a whole week affair, showcasing different things on each day, on different days, because really and truly you cannot put everything together in one day show. It's not possible.
We noticed some ladies called ilaje. How does that come to play in this festival? And we saw wrestling too. Of course, that is Africa. Can you just elaborate or explain to us a little more about it?
Yes, like I said, that you see, in culture, there is always sometimes there is transition in all of these things, because you imbibe some values and culture based on exposure and what is happening around you, because nothing is static. The beauty pageant that you watch is more of a Western culture, so to speak, but not 100% really Western, because we have a traditional way of doing that in the olden days. You know, if you are a student of history, especially in Yoruba Kingdom, when a king wants to get married to a young lady, they will parade young ladies, you know, before the king in the palace, and the king will be able to make a choice, you know, based on certain considerations. And it's more like a beauty pageant. That is the tradition, but you know, the Western culture has modernized it and turned into something that is a kind of a show, even though it's not leading to marriage. But the traditional one in those days was to lead to marriage. You know, and the young ladies, they will parade them before the king. And we even have an example of that even in the Bible.
That's right.
Yes, when Esther was chosen eventually as the queen, you know, to the king. But in this case, it's more of a show for the public to see. It's a display of the handwork of God and the life of humans, because men, women, we are all made by God. So when you showcase that, it's saying, look at what God has done, as it were. Yeah, we call the Western culture, but it also has some traditional undertone, and we try to also showcase that so that it could be part of what the event is all about. Then the local wrestling that you saw is just like what we have in Japan. They call it Sumo, where the local wrestlers. It's also part of our own culture. It's just that our own people, they won't be as fat as those Sumo wrestlers, but we have that local game as well. It's a kind of show that people will always like to watch, to know who is the strongest youth, as it were, in town. Yes, we don't want to forget that.
Does this attract any incentive to either the beauty queen or the greatest wrestler?
Well, in those days when that is being done, definitely, you know, it's part of the consideration that a lot of, you know, you don't, because a lot of people will be invited from the town to come and watch such events. But different people with different interests when they come for such a show. So at the end of the day, some young lad, they might see the man who is the strongest man, they'll be going to fall in love, so to speak. So it's part of the incentives locally, but in the modern world, you see, they appreciate such people with gifts. Some have turned into a profession, like the wrestler that we watch on the television in the Western wrestling world, where they put people in the ring to fight. You see people coming to watch. It's the same thing. They only modernize it and turn it into a big show, a big sport that is generating money for people. So there are incentives to that. Back then, and even now, it has turned to a profession. and people trained and what they pay for. They get ticket to pay for to come and watch the show. So there are incentives to such game. But we have the traditional one too, and we're trying to showcase that so that people will not forget.
How then do you think this festival can transform Ilaje Kingdom?
You see, there are many dimensions or perspectives to this, really. For one, when you try to bring people together, don't forget that Ilaje has 4 major kingdoms, even though we have 2 paramount rulers in Ilaje land. The 4 kingdoms are Ugbo Kingdom, the Mahin Kingdom, the Ahero Kingdom, and the Tikan Kingdom. But we have 2 paramount rulers, first-class obas in Ilaje land, which is the Ugbo Kingdom has 1 paramount ruler, first-class oba, the Olugbo of Ugbo Kingdom. And we have the Mahin Kingdom that the Ahero and the Tika also fall under, as it were. And we have the Omakpetu of Mahin land. So those are the way it is. So even though we have that kind of division, as it were, but we are all one. We are all one. We're just trying to look at our different dynasty, but we are all Ilaje. We are all one. And that is what we preach today.
We coexist.
We coexist, and we have same culture, same tradition, and and we have common history and common path. We have same path, history together. So when we come together like this, is to remind ourselves that we are brothers. We are one, irrespective of your kingdom, so to speak. We are one. Try to have a kind of what we call cultural integration among ourselves to preach peace, love, harmony, and coexistence, so that we will not be divided politically, because somehow politics tends to want to break into a union, so to speak, to create certain dichotomy. But when we come culturally like this, because in politics, even a brother and a sister, they have different interests. Talk less of kingdoms.
Yes.
What belongs to me, what is coming to me, that is human nature. But when we come in a situation like this, we are trying to say, hey, irrespective of our leanings, irrespective of our different interests, irrespective of our uniqueness in terms of our individuality, in terms of kingdoms, but we are still one. Culturally, path history, and a show like this is preaching that, so that we can always...
still one. Do not forget that after this commercial breaks.
All right. From these 2 paramount rulers, we also have a great 2 obas, even under these 2 kingdoms. Like in Ugbo Kingdom, we have the Olugbo of Ugbo Kingdom, the Alago, and then the Odoka. These are other rulers and kingdoms within Ugbo Kingdom. So, despite all this, we are reminding ourselves through this festival that we are one with common history, common culture, and even though we have different dynasties in terms of family lineage. So, but culturally we are one, and we're trying to showcase this through this kind of program to preach peace, togetherness, and oneness.
Prince, if I'm not mistaken, you are using this festival to kind of break through into tourism, kind of turning Ilaje into a tourism center. How true is that? And how do you think you're going to do that?
Yes, the truth of the matter is, if you don't tell the world or the people from other areas that this is who you are, there is no way they'll be able to know. Through this festival, we want to showcase our land, our people, our culture, our heritage to the whole world and to other parts of the country, Nigeria, so that they can always come. We want to tell them we are people of peace, even though we are from the Niger Delta region of Nigeria, that is acclaimed to be volatile, but you can see yourself that you have never seen any volatility since you've been here for the past 1 week. Ilaje is most peaceful region in the Niger Delta region. And we want to tell the other people from other parts of the country and all over the world that yes, we are peaceful people, we are loving people. You can always come here to recreate, to be part of this festival and enjoy yourself. It's like having an adventure. We travel to other parts of the world to see, to witness their culture, other events that they organize. You know, in Brazil and other places, showcasing their culture, their heritage. And in Calabar, they always have the yearly Calabar Festival. So we're trying to do that in Ilaje as well, to tell the world that this is who we are, and this is our culture.
See, you look very young. I can call you a very young prince. And I wonder how much history you know about your people. So actually, my next question would be, you tell us a little short story or history about this festival and the kingdom itself.
Like I told you that we have 4 kingdoms, even though we have majorly 2 kingdoms, the Mahim and the Ugbo kingdom. These have been the kingdoms that started, that have been existing in Nigeria. I can't remember the years right now because I have to go back to, this is an appropriate interview. It's not, but I don't. But they've been existing years back. And from the story that we were told, that we are all from the Yoruba race, from Ilaje, and migrated down. We're royal prince from there. Migrated down the coastline to get to Ilaje for one reason, maybe for expansion. But this can always be, the history can always be put right, but that is just the core of the story of how they migrate down to the West Coast area. Just like from history, as a history student, we're also told the Benin. They used to be also from Ilaje, and they moved down that region and become the Noba in Benin Kingdom, Beredawa. So I think it's it's a similar, let me use that word, a similar part history that people migrate from one location to the other, trying to establish themselves. So these kingdoms have been existing in that place for years back, hundreds of years back. And that is the way it has been.
Yes, coming to look into development, coming to see, bringing infrastructure, coming to bring in industries, companies, and things like that. What are you doing, including the royal fathers, to see that the kingdom attracts more of these things than what they presently have?
I can tell you as a citizen, the son of the soil, so to speak, of Ilaje land, that what we deserve and we desire more than what we have and getting right now. Because I can tell you, Ilaje local government is the richest local government in Nigeria, and I will put clarity to that statement. When I say the richest local government, I'm talking in terms of resources that is coming to that local government. Now, if you look at the Niger Delta region, which we're part of, because we're the only local government that is producing oil in the whole of Western region, Southwest geopolitical zone in Nigeria. Now, all of those states, and that is what actually bring Ondo State into the oil-producing states of Nigeria, Nigeria local government. Now, in all other states that are oil-producing states, they have more than one local government where they are exploring oil. In some states, we have about 7 local governments. In some states, all the local government, like Bayelsa, Rivers State, we have several local governments where oil is being, produced. Now, by the government all resources law, so to speak, the 13% derivation that are accrued to oil producing communities comes to only ilaje local government in Ondo State. While other states, they have 7 states, 8 states that are supposed to share that 13% derivation. But in Ondo State, it is only ilaje. Ordinarily, so if other states like Edo and Edo, Delta, Bayelsa, Cross River, if they are getting, let's assume they are getting 1 billion, they are going to share theirs among maybe 7, 8 local governments. But from those states, it comes to only one local government, like a local government. That is why I said we are the richest local government in Nigeria. But even though we have internal arrangement within the state to make all of that local government to benefit from that, but statutorily, it comes to ilaje local government. Now, but what we are seeing compared to what the resources and what you accrue to us cannot be, you cannot compare it. It's so small to what, you know, what we have on ground is so small compared to what is supposed to accrue to us as a local government. Here we live on water, there is no clean water to drink. Our roads, the community is supposed to have been linked up with roads by now. We still travel by boat, and it's not as if this cannot be